Well, thank you for speaking to Good Times. So,
Yeah.
in your case, a new country, new adventures. When I
Yes.
last saw you in Ant-Man, this must have been a different ball game altogether.
Well, yeah, because also Ant-Man, I had a day off, and then I started filming
That's
this.
true.
Yeah, I finished on like the 15th or something like that. Then I was in Mexico on the 16th. But it was good because apparently there was a lot of pressure, and I didn't want to mess it up. But I was so busy, and we were shooting right away, so that I didn't get to feel any of that pressure.
And in Ant-Man, your character was absolutely different, funny, and and here suddenly the seriousness. So, was that switch easy?
No, it wasn't easy because with any character, like, by the way, the Ant-Man character, it took me like 7 months to really get a character that I could play and it would make sense for the whole movie. And in this one, I had a couple of years to think about it, but not until you're there shooting and studying, with the fellow actors and directors and writers, can you make sense of it? But these guys really helped me out.
And you're carrying forth a legacy. It's a legacy, the Narcos legacy.
It is, isn't it?
Yes, it
How
is.
about that?
So it must be a challenge because I'm sure every new season brings its own challenges and anxieties.
They are all equally difficult and stressful, and I've now lived with this show for many, many years, from impetus, in the late 90s when it was first occurred to me to do, to, bringing season 1, season 2, season 3, and now season 4, which I think is our best season. I think that we've gotten better as we've gone along. I think, unfortunately, the drug war has gotten worse.
Yeah.
I believe it's more relevant now than it even was in 2015 when we first came out. I think that we've learned a lot about how to make the show, and I think that the move to Mexico, I think we brought our best strengths. We have our best cast. We have, I believe, our best story. Mm-hmm. So I believe the legacy will continue.
Absolutely. And also, there's always this strand, to humanize the character.
Yeah.
I mean, you actually felt bad for Escobar, but, so is that deliberate?
Absolutely. You have to. I mean, I think that it's a dangerous trend to try to find the monsters among us and deny them their humanity. Somehow we feel we can find some distance from these people. And the reality is that monsters don't spring forth from the womb. They're created by situations and circumstances, environments. And every single one of these traffickers was a creation of a demand for cocaine in the United States and elsewhere, complicit governments and law enforcement in different nations like the United States, who was preoccupied with communism for 50 years and ignored the growth of drug trafficking. Monsters are human beings.
True, absolutely.
And so yes, our plan was always to take a character like Pablo Escobar, like Felix Gallardo, and show the relatable human qualities that make them in many ways so dangerous because we don't see them coming.
Absolutely. And you've worked with Diego Luna. He directed you. And now, though you don't have many scenes together, so was that like fun together? I mean, not...
Well, no, I mean, I was happy that he was in it because I was a part of it for a couple of years before his name came up. So I was always interested in who was going to play Felix Gallardo. And it was awesome that, Diego came in, but also all the other characters, the Mexican characters, you filled it up pretty well, man.
Yeah, it's funny though. They're not in the same frame very often.
you can feel that chemistry,
You have to have two equal charges because you don't want to go from this guy to this guy all of a sudden. They needed to be matched.
Absolutely.
Because as you bounce back and forth,
True.
you want the audience's enthusiasm to maintain. So they both had to live up to one another, which wasn't easy.
And you've watched Narcos earlier, so were you excited when this came to you? Did you always want to be part of Narcos?
Well, I didn't watch Narcos in the beginning.
Oh, you didn't?
No, because I had a kid, and we watched a lot of like cartoons and stuff like that. And then after the meeting, I watched 2 episodes, and right away I was like, yes, I was very excited to be in it, because they captured Latin America, or just a Latin vibe, better than most movies. And that next time, I think we met. I don't know, we met a bunch.
Yeah.
But after that, I was really excited to be on it.
And since you're talking to Good Times, what's your idea for Good Time?
What's up? Me, just maybe going to a movie with I love watching movies with my family. We read a lot. We love stories, and so that's a real big good time for me. And then also being with friends and golfing, maybe playing some chess. Watching snails, that kind of thing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for speaking to Good Times. And you play a real-life character in Narcos, Mexico. So was that a challenge? Because it's tough playing a real-life character.
No.
Really?
I mean, it's interesting. It's different, but not necessarily difficult. I mean, you have a lot of material there.
Yeah.
There's so many stories told about him that help you build a character, have information there that can help you through the process. It's just different. It's a different approach, but I don't see it as something difficult or not. The challenge is somewhere else. The challenge is in telling a story and building a character that is three-dimensional, that humanize a character like this.
Absolutely, because one felt bad for Escobar, when in the earlier Narcos. So there is this effort to humanize the character, show that he's not all that bad. So that
it's just like no one's good or bad just like that, That's a judgment we make. But people are just people, and they are reacting to the things you and I react to. It's just that he's willing to cross a line I'm not willing to cross. But what triggers his actions is the stuff that triggers mine too, like love, guilt, ambition. It's just you got to be very careful in not judging one of these characters, because the easiest is to say, oh, he's bad, and then you're bad, and that's it. And then people watch it for 10 minutes and they go, okay, enough, I got it, But you have 10 hours to tell the story of a character, and you can bring many tones and colors, and that's the beauty of this, of doing a series, Besides film, that you have 2 hours, here you have 10.
So living that character over a period of time. For somebody who's done films, it was after 2 hours and a schedule, it's all forgotten, but you're living this character over months. So for an actor, does that get challenging, or is it?
It's tiring.
It's
tiring, and sometimes it gets you into dark places, and you just have to get drunk and forget about it.
And also, you had directed Michael Pena, and now acting with him in this movie, so what was that like?
It was fantastic, because I know the guy, and because I have a relation with him. But in this project, we barely get to see each other, He's always chasing me, and I'm never there. So I guess I've seen him more in the promotional tour than on set.
And also, you and Gail Garcia Bernal have a company, and also the kind of movies you do now with platforms like these now will reach out to a wider audience. And now language is no longer a barrier. The world seems to become a smaller place. People are watching Hindi dramas, they're watching Spanish dramas. So how do you feel entertainment has actually changed over the last 10 years now? Do you feel it gives a platform to everybody to express themselves?
I think it's changing because of audiences. Audiences are shaping the content now, like these platforms that allow you to know what are people watching, what they like, what they don't. People has a voice today that before probably they didn't have, and that's good news, As long as we don't forget that this is about point of view, and people should have the opportunity always to tell the story they want.
Absolutely.
But platforms like Netflix do celebrate that, There is a diversity in what Netflix offers that is kind of interesting.
And since you're speaking to Good Times, what is your idea of a good time?
A good time?
Yeah.
The beer I'm gonna have as soon as I'm done with these interviews. You know, it's gonna be the coldest one, very big, and I am just like thinking about it. Like, it's been a 10 or 11 hour day for me, answering questions about Narcos, which I love because I want people to see the series. But I'm ready for the beer.
Yeah, and we are ready to watch the show. Thank you so much.
Thank
It was
you.
lovely speaking to you.
Same.